What's going on, everybody, as we get set to kick off week 6 already in the NFL season with the Giants hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to talk about some basketball today and, sadly, some injury-related news. And it's actually from one of the most popular players in the league, and that's LeBron James. Obviously, LeBron has been an incredible basketball player. Some people would argue he's the GOAT. And he's starting off this season sidelined. So he'll be out for 3 to 4 weeks with a sciatica on his right side. And that's where he'll be reevaluated. So I'm assuming he's going to miss maybe even like the first month of the season. So tough start for LeBron, who is 40 years old. He turns 41, I think, in December. And again, I mean, LeBron is, we've gotten so used to him doing this for so long, being healthy. And obviously, Father Time, it gets you. And I think it's starting to get to LeBron the last few years. He's had, right now, technically, this was a groin. Like a week ago, they said he had something bothering him with his groin. Now it's a sciatica thing. I don't know if they're related. But he's missed due time in the past few seasons. And it's kind of crazy to see because we just not used to it with LeBron. LeBron has been one of the most durable NBA players ever. I'm going to look at his career stats right here. And if you look at games played, they're all in the 70s pretty much. 79, 80, 79, 78, 75, 81, 76, 79, 62 when he was in Miami. And I'm pretty sure a lot of those are because I think he played a full season, I think, that year, because I'm pretty sure 62 was the number of games that league played because it was like a lockout, coming back from a lockout year. So full season there, 76, 77, 69. So again, I don't know if now it's bothering me. I don't know if it was the lockout year, if that's the year that he kind of went on that 2-week hiatus and left the Heat for 2 weeks. But again, just 69, 76, 74, 82. And then he got to the Lakers and it was 55, 67, 45, 56, 55. The last 2 years, not bad. 71, 70. This year, at best, it's probably going to look like 71 or 70. So, and if you remember last year, he was kind of banged up in the playoffs as well. So again, tough start for LeBron and the Lakers. And I shouldn't really say the Lakers, because this is what I'm getting at too, is that I think the Lakers now, obviously LeBron is still a great player. No doubt you want him out there, but they are now Luka's team. So it doesn't feel like, it would if Anthony Edwards got hurt on the Wolves, for example, where it's like, that's your superstar. Yeah, LeBron's still a superstar, but this is Luka's team now. So if Luka's healthy, the expectations with the Lakers should still be high. In other words, what you expect to get from Luka is way higher than what you expect to get from LeBron. So when I say rough start for LeBron and the Lakers, it's really more for LeBron, because I don't really, yes, obviously, I think this will affect how good they are on the court, but the Lakers should still maintain their expectations, even if LeBron is out for a month, because Luka is the key. If you lose Luka for a significant portion of time, that's where the expectations might have to change, because obviously LeBron can only do so much and carry the team so much now that he's 40 years old. So again, tough way to start, and a tough way to start the season for LeBron with the second decision. I don't know what that was. Personally, I thought he was going to retire, and people that are saying, no way, you should know this. Also, let me clarify. I didn't think he was going to retire on the spot. I thought he was going to announce that this would be his last season. There's a difference, obviously. I didn't expect him to cold turkey to just say, I'm retiring, I'm not playing at all this season. One, I don't expect LeBron to ever do that. That's why when people were saying people should know better, like LeBron would never leave the game that way, like, okay, well, then what way will LeBron leave the game? Because if you think LeBron is just going to finish a season and then in the offseason announce his retirement, that's me thinking you don't know LeBron James, because as we know, LeBron likes the attention, and that's okay. Listen, I'm old school, where I rather the players just not have the whole big make it about themselves thing. Like Clayton Kershaw announced this is his last season a week before the last game of the regular season, and he had his nice moment. It was great. Honestly, it almost got me teary-eyed in his last, home start at Dodger Stadium, and that was awesome. And something like that I respect. But with Kobe, I didn't have a problem when he announced it was his last year, and then obviously it was like a retirement tour. And I think LeBron, he's a little more attention. seeking, I think, than Kobe, but it's a different time right now. And also, I think that's just who LeBron is. So, like, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of the look at me, all the random tweets that like Kobe never did. And Jordan, obviously, like his, it wasn't as mainstream, I guess you could say. But with LeBron, so I am in a sense criticizing LeBron for seeking so much attention. But in another way, I'm not criticizing him if this is how he's going to do it, because this is him. He likes the attention. Let's just get that out the way. And that's okay. Like some people some people show up to the arena in their, team sweatpants and with their headphones in and locked in, or a suit locked in. And some people show up with the craziest outfits that they know are going to get headlines and get attention here and there. Like Russell Westbrook. I love Russell Westbrook. He's always going to be someone that the cameras are going to capture, because when he shows up to the arena, he's not low key. He's coming in and he's drawing eyes and everyone's staring, and he's got the crazy outfits, and that's fine. That's his personality. So with LeBron, it is what it is. This is his personality. So that's why when people are like, this is not the way he would ever do it. Well, what way do you see him doing it? Because if you think that he's just going to ride off quietly into the sunset, the season's going to finish, and then a month after the season in July, he's just going to say like, it was a great run. Thanks, everyone. I'm done. No, I definitely don't see it that way. I definitely think with LeBron, it's going to be a retirement tour. I will respect it if it's not a retirement tour, and if he decides, like a couple games before the last game of the season, he announces it. But there's no way I see that happening. I just think that he likes the attention. He said it one time in the conference, I think it was after either they won the finals or something in the bubble, and he said, I demand my respect. So he wants that respect and that attention. So it only makes sense to me that he would actually do something like this, like how he just did this, commercial for the Decision Part 2. And he would say, like, this is going to be my last year. And now when he goes to Milwaukee for the last time, when he goes to Toronto, when he goes to Atlanta, the crowd's going to give him a standing ovation. There'll be cheers, all that kind of stuff. And I definitely see him doing it that way for sure. But it's not this time around, which makes me think that he's probably thinking to himself that he might have more in the tank after this season. Obviously, it all depends how it goes. But that's why this is not a good start, because he's starting the season sidelined, out 3 to 4 weeks, and we'll see how the Lakers can hold up. Again, I expect the Lakers to be a pretty good team. The West is really tough, so I don't expect them to be that good that they'll get home court. But I think they'll be right there. It wouldn't surprise me if they end up the 4 seed, but I think OKC, I think Denver are the 2 top dogs in the Western Conference. And then you got teams like Houston and Minnesota that are going to be pushing to try to, be in that 3-4 spot. So we'll see. The Warriors maybe make some noise, but it feels like they're missing something. So we'll see how it all ends up playing out. I think the Mavericks could be really good too. The Clippers, obviously, we don't know what's going on with this whole Kawhi situation, but I expect them to be, in the hunt. They're a pretty good team. So all those teams, the Lakers included, are kind of in that little area. And, a team that I think is, a sleeper that could make a push is the Spurs, because Wemby is just incredible, man. He grew 2 inches this summer. So I don't know what to make of him. He's a freak of nature. He's incredible basketball player and a defensive player of the year candidate, I'm sure, but it depends on if he can stay healthy or not. So ultimately, that's what's going on with LeBron and the Lakers. We'll see how they start off this season. I'm going to take a look at their schedule real quick. Let's see how they start off the season. So the Lakers open up the season at home against Golden State, tough game. At home against Minnesota, tough game. At Sacramento, should be a win. At home against Portland, should be a win. But Portland's feisty. So let's say 2-2. Let's go through the first 10 games. At Minnesota, tough game. At Memphis, I'll give them a win, 3-3. Versus Miami, should be a win. At Portland, let's give them another win, 5-3. Versus San Antonio, let's give them a loss, because it's either a loss there or at Portland, 5-4. And then at Atlanta, that's a tough one too, but let's say they go 6-4. As long as they go 6-4 in the first 10 games, that gets you to November 8th. At that point, that's about 3 weeks since the season would have tipped. And if LeBron comes back around there, you're holding steady. That Atlanta game is the start of a 5-game road trip for them. So it's Atlanta, at Charlotte, at OKC, at New Orleans, at Milwaukee. So, you know, if LeBron gets there, he could help because those, that could be a tough road trip. So maybe that's what they're eyeing to get him back by then. But again, not a great start. One of my things to watch this year was essentially the LaDrama James, and this is part of it, because he is such a polarizing figure. He's such a big time NBA player that anything is news with LeBron. But the decision thing was, if it's just a commercial, dude, like, what are we doing? I actually would have rather it been him announcing a retirement tour, but it is what it is. In a way, if this was purposely done, which I'm sure maybe it was, but I like when people kind of mess with the media, because the media is just quick to report anything and everything and don't really check sources sometimes. And to me, I'm like, sometimes it's like a gotcha. Like, I wish coaches would just, sometimes when people are drilling them with questions, they would just make something up. I know that's not journalistic of me, but sometimes it's just, the questions that are asked to get them to answer that, they don't want to answer, and they're not gonna answer. I just wish that players would just answer it or something and say something ridiculous, just so that people would kind of get off, off their case and stuff. So again, I didn't mind this decision thing as much as people did. I just did think that if you're going to do that, do it and actually have something to say. Like, I would not have criticized him if he did it and said, I wanted to say that last time I did this decision, it might have not been the greatest decision, and this time around, I'm leaving no stone unturned. I just wanted to let everyone know that this will be my last season. I would have respected that. That's just how, again, would I like my athlete to do it that way? No, but it's LeBron. He likes the attention. He would have been being himself, and I would have respected it. But doing this commercial thing was kind of, again, maybe he made a lot of bank. Good for him. Take your money, bro. So ultimately, it is what it is. Excited to talk more basketball as the weeks approach and the season is about to tip off. Tonight, we got week 6 of the NFL season. Philly taking on the Giants. I expect Philadelphia to bounce back. Jalen Carter is out for this game. But I think the Eagles, should get the job done. I mean, the Giants are 7.5-point underdogs. It's in the MetLife Stadium in New York, but the Giants with Jackson Dart, we'll see. But I'm keeping my eye on that Philly offense. Will they get A.J. Brown really going? He's been kind of a drama receiver, whining all the time, even when they're winning. So I feel like this might be the game they really try to get him the ball and try to make him happy. Saquon's not having a great year either, but you don't hear him complaining much. He's a true pro. So, again, we'll see how it plays out. And then I'll be away tomorrow and Friday, but Saturday I'll be back on. We'll do our Week 6 NFL picks, picking all the matchups for Sunday and Monday. For tonight, I got Philly beating the Giants. I would say by more than 7.5, but we're looking at the money line. I'm taking Philly. All right, y'all. Enjoy the game. Talk to y'all soon.